To die by your side is such a heavenly way to die. I love him.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is an amazing actor. He takes part in projects that maintain the lifeblood of true cinema. He seems continually intent on making sure that he's taking part in films that advance the art.
With the Tony Danza scenes,
I think you've tapped into a lot of what a lot of people are going through. That they can't connect with real people.
Right.
They can't stay in a relationship. They don't see the joy in it, and they don't see the beauty in it.
And they're used to this sort of one-way satisfaction given by whatever media they consume.
JGL's self-written, produced, and acted Don John, a film that pulls apart porn addiction and unhealthy infantilization of women by some men, is pretty good evidence of this. And we'll certainly come back to that film another day. 500 Days of Summer is a fascinating piece by Mark Webb, before his Spider-Man days, and was written by the hugely talented team of Scott Neustadter and Michael H. Weber. The film follows the 2-year on-and-off relationship of Tom Hansen and Summer Finn. Throughout the film, we follow Tom's destructive attraction to Summer, and despite a smattering of evidence, his pursuit of his apparent love for her. We start to realize that Tom does not belong in Summer's world. From their first real conversation, we learn that they have conflicting worldviews about love, and Summer clearly states she isn't looking for a relationship. This, however, does not dissuade Tom, and this is where we begin to see the film's social commentary. The film tackles the pixie girl trope, the nice guy trope, and the selfish nature of a certain portion of the male population. Tom is selfish. He ignores Summer's initial interactions with him, and even though Summer is clear that she wants nothing serious, he continues to pursue. Neustadter and Weber draw us into Tom's urban world and invite us to empathize with him, share his hopes that, indeed, he may end up with Summer. One of the most powerful moments of the film, and indeed potentially in filmmaking, is the reality versus expectation scene, where we're brought back down to earth from the strange dreamlike world that Tom lives in. But before we get to that iconic scene, let's talk about colours. Tom wears heavy browns, auburns, and largely varnished colours. He sports what could only be described as vintage bowling shoes sometimes. He wears loose ties, has shabby hair, and looks more like he should be playing music in a hip bar somewhere. Conversely, Summer wears bright blues, loose-fitted clothing, whites and pastels throughout the film. Her colour palette, and this is also helped by Deschanel's mannerisms, compel us to view her as a typical pixie girl. She's aloof, she has a weird stack of crap in her home, and she's really unpredictable. During the height of their relationship, Tom is surrounded by blues and whites and bright open spaces. He is in Summer's world. But, as we see by his dark clothes and the way he interacts, he doesn't really belong there. Their breakup scene occurs in a dark diner, cast against chrome and leather, Tom's world. Even Summer's building has a white hallway. Her apartment is quirky, she has a rooftop that's open and full of life, and this, conveniently, takes us to the pivotal scene of the film. We're offered 2 split-screen panels. Tom's expectation, also the expectation that rom-coms have invited us to expect, and reality. Reality lingers on the door, casts Summer against darker spaces, reminding us that Summer does not belong in Tom's world. Conversely, expectation focuses on Summer, there's lots more long lens shots, and reveals the sky and brighter spaces. And of course, this comes to a head as we see during the expectations, Tom and Summer kissing. We see Summer's light wallpaper and the rich curtain behind them, as well as a more classical lamp in the background. This is the 2 color palettes meeting, their 2 worlds coming together. In reality, of course, we're met with something starker. A wooden board, and the night sky, and tequila. Compounded, of course, by Tom finally relinquishing his expectations, as reality takes over. And then, of course, we see the beautiful street at night drawn in autumn. Tom's world is his own again, and Summer, of course, has no place in it. And perhaps she never did. The nail in the coffin of this beautiful technique is the final scene of the film. Tom and Summer have experienced closure, and Tom is at an architecture firm. All rich wood, browns, and concrete. It's his world. Here, he meets a girl who already exists in this world. She's dressed in autumn colours, just as Tom usually is. He seems to have met someone who already inhabits the same space he does. There's no need for expectations to collide with reality, because there's no requirement for Tom to ignore the natural and real things about this girl. The film is lovely to watch, and is yet another great example of well-executed cinema that maintains what are arguably the greatest aspects of this art form. Hey guys, thanks for watching this episode of Through the Glass. As always, I had a blast making it, and this is one of my favorite films of all time, so if you haven't watched it, go, buy it on iTunes, rent it on YouTube, or whatever it is that... However you watch movies now. I buy DVDs, because everything else scares me. Let me know what you think of the film and that iconic scene. There's a great video that I'll link down below as well, where a great YouTube channel, they deconstruct that scene and they look through it. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it. So that'll be in the description. As always, thanks to all of our Patreons. And if you want more from us, we have a great podcast we do. Great in the sense that there's a few episodes of it, and sometimes people listen to it. And it is certainly a podcast. So if you want to hit that up, you can search for Art for Artists on iTunes. All that stuff is in the show notes, and we also post that here on the YouTube channel. So as always, that's it from me, guys. I appreciate all your support, everything you do to help spread the word, and I'll see you next time.